since I was a kid. I've always paid a lot of attention to the impact that what we see on screen has on us, and yeah, that was sort of the origin of the story.
But it's never been too destructive for you personally, I hope.
No, I guess I'm still standing here, so.
Yes, you are. In what way was your family also a big inspiration? Because I understand that your mother is a noted feminist, and this story is all about how we tend to objectify women and how wrong that is, right?
You're absolutely right. Yeah, my mom and my dad both were very active in, you know, the movements of the 60s and 70s, the civil rights and peace movements, as well as certainly the feminist movement. And my mom always brought up my brother and me to be aware of the way that our culture sometimes marginalizes or objectifies women. And when we would be watching television as a family, you know, if a commercial would come on that, like the commercial that's in this movie where, you know, that's using the image of a sexy woman to sell a hamburger or whatever product, she would always point it out to us and say, like, look at what's happening here. And I very much think that a lot of the content of this movie comes from what she taught us.
Does that also mean that she had script approval? Did she have to say yes to you before you could start filming?
She read the script. I showed her an early draft and later drafts, and absolutely, I talked with her during the writing process.
Talking about great ladies, you work here now with Julianne Moore and of course Scarlett Johansson. How was that process to get people like that on board?
Well, yeah, I had Scarlett in mind from the beginning of writing the story, and
well, how can you not?
of course, because she's such a talented actress. That's true. There's lots of girls who are very good looking. You know, what makes Scarlett special is not just that. You know, she's a really smart person. She's a really talented artist, and I think it's actually kind of a good example of what this movie is about. That oftentimes most of what people talk about is just her looks, and that's not what makes her special, you know, and that's really not what's the most attractive about her. And she was really an enormous contributor to this project, and it wouldn't have happened without her. And she really lent a lot of ideas, because she was really the first artist to read the script, and we had a lot of great conversations about it. And from those conversations, I did another draft of the script, and I think really fleshed out the character of Marvel.
And Julianne Moore, of course, such an amazing actress. I saw her this morning also in Carrie, which is also playing at the festival here. So, I mean, it's a seal of approval for you that people like that want to play in your debut.
I was really delighted when I heard that Julie had read the script and really liked the writing. She actually told me a story that I found so flattering about when she read it, because, and I'll tell you the story now, but she said that her agent handed her the script and it said, well, Joseph Gordon-Levitt has written a story about porn, do you want to read it? And she was like, oh man, I don't really want to read a movie about porn because I've been in Boogie Nights and I just don't need to do that. But she did decide to read it, and she told me the story that she was on a plane sitting next to her husband, Bart, and when she was reading it, she turned to him and said, but this isn't about porn at all. This is about, you know, a lot of things. But and I remember when she told me that, the first time we spoke, she told me that story, and when she said that, I was like, yes, she got it, you know. Then there was the best feeling to, you know, of validation that what I was trying to do had come through to an actress that I respected so much.
It must be great to direct people like that for your first feature. Now, finally, all of this, is it hard work for you? Because you take this movie all around the world. Now I understand it's not only Ghent that you honor with your presence, although we'd like to think that. But so has it been an interesting time for you, taking this movie all around the world?
Sure. Well, it's like I said before the movie. You know, I wrote it with the conversations that people would have in mind. That's what I was hoping it would do. You know, this isn't one of those movies that just delights you and then lets you go. It's ideally something that people would talk about and disagree about and will spark debate. And so it's been fascinating, and I've always just been so curious to hear what people make of it, what it means to them, and so I'm curious to hear what it means to you guys.
Is there still more promoting and traveling to do, or are you going back home after this?
I'm almost done. Yeah, almost done.
Good for you. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.